to actually start monitoring my network, I'll use a tool or a software known as Wireshark. So I've already installed the application on my machine. So I'm now opening Wireshark. Alright. So this is the Wireshark or the Wireshark network analyzer that I'm going to be using. I hope you can see the application from that end. So basically, Wireshark has lots of functionalities that it has. So on Wireshark, under File, you can actually import from a hex dump. You can export packet dissections. You can export PDUs to file or export objects. You can actually configure profiles or select preferences. You can actually capture packets as well as filter certain elements within the packets. You can visit the options menu and maybe enable the promiscuous mode if it hasn't been enabled. You can as well analyze in Wireshark. You can analyze by displaying filters, by displaying filter macros, displaying filter expressions. You can apply filters, you can prepare a filter, you can converse a filter. Maybe through you can converse a filter. If you want to see maybe on Ethernet, IP version 4, IP version 6, the transmission control protocol or the UDP, you can enable protocols, etc. In Wireshark, you can also view some states with respect to conversations, endpoints, service response times. We have the HTTPs, the HTTP2, and you can also view the TCP stream graphs. So Wireshark is a very, very important tool that as an investigator you need to have, especially if you are dealing with network analysis. So now, as you can see from the presentation or from the slide, here you can click and it can actually list all the interfaces that you can have. You can have the wired interface, you can have Bluetooth, you can have wireless, you can have virtual. So in this particular case, the interface that we are going to be, or the network that we're going to be analyzing, we're going to be analyzing the Wi-Fi. So on Wi-Fi, I have several access points. So for this particular demonstration, I'm going to be analyzing Wi-Fi 2. So I'm going to double click on Wi-Fi 2. So the moment I double click, I'm now monitoring my network. I'm now capturing packets. But however, to aid understanding, basically a network is defined as an interconnection of two or more machines that actually link together within a particular system or within a particular setup. That is a network. So you can have, we have various network topologies that we have. We have the star network, bus network, ring, token ring, mesh, bus, only to mention a few. So a network can be centralized or decentralized. So in this particular case, as we are monitoring the network, as we are actually in the process of capturing packets, we can do several things. Like for instance, let's say for instance I want to make a request. I'm going to visit my command prompt. Remember, at the background we are still capturing packets, or we're monitoring our network. So in network we have a command known as ping. So basically when you're pinging a certain website, you want to see if there is a connection that is established between your machine and the servers of a particular site or a particular system. Now for this particular instance, I'm going to ping, let's ping www.google.com. As you can see, we're getting a response when we want to access the site google.com. Also, let's say for instance, I want to see if there's a link between me and YouTube. You can just type www.youtube.com, or maybe if you know the IP address, you can just type in ping space you type in the IP address. In this particular case, since I don't know the IP address of YouTube, I can just type it as www.youtube.com. So and we want to constantly ping to see if we're going to be getting a response. So the moment I do this, as you can see, we have a connection between my machine, or between my network and YouTube. So basically, while we're doing this, we are also capturing these packets. All right. What we can also do is let's just leave that and open another command prompt. What we can also do, we can also perform, let's say for instance you want to see where your network is actually failing, or where the link is failing to be established. You can perform what we call a trace route. Trace route is an inbuilt Windows command, just like ping. So if you say trace route, we want to look for a network that is busy. Let's just say maybe CNN.com. Then when you press enter, we are basically tracing the route, and we want to see the number of hops if it on the network. So basically, while we have still we're performing this trace route, remember we are also pinging or we're sending a ping request to our google.com, and everything that we are doing is being captured on Wireshark. So as you can see, we have an option to view the frames. These are the frames that exist. We also have an option to look at the internet if it's there. We have the source, the destination, and the type. We also have an option of looking at the IP version that we're using and some of the header files that exist, the protocol that is being used, and the source and the destination addresses. We can also go to Transmission Control Protocol, or TCP, to view the source port as well as the destination port. and if there are any acknowledgement that exists. We also have a segment of transport layer security, where we can actually view the TLS version that we're using and which layer of that protocol is there. So, depending with what you are doing, you can actually constantly monitor the network to see if there are any anomalies that may exist within your network. So, while the network is being monitored, we have a number that is present, as well as the time. We have a source address, we have a destination address, we have the protocol that is being accessed or used, and the length and information that is present. So as you can see, we are monitoring my network. But however, since we now want to analyze this network, let's try and stop the capturing process. If we click on stop, we've managed to stop the monitoring or the capturing of packets. So now, the second step that we need to do is we need to save the packets that we are capturing so that we analyze them further. So, if you want to save, you can go and click on File, click Save As. Then, the name of the file that we want to, or the pcap file that we want to save, let's just call it forensics. And we want to save the type as a pcap file. You know, on top here we have pcap png. We however want to save these packets as Wireshark TCP dump pcap files, the one that is below this one. So if I click on here and select save, what's actually happening right now is I've managed to save the packets that we are capturing. So maybe just to confirm that, let me minimize this window. We have saved the pcap file into the folder edism, which is this folder over here. And I want to look and see if we have a pcap file known as forensics. As you can see, we have a pcap file that is saved here. It's forensics. The date modified is the 12th of September 2021. And the time is 23 minutes to 11. And the tag is a Wireshark captured pcap. So as you can see, it's 10:37. And the time right now is 10:38. So this is the file that we have managed to capture. So now, when we have this file now, known as forensics.pcap, the next thing that we need to do now is we need to analyze this pcap file. We have been analyzing the packets as they were as Wireshark had been monitoring the network when we were looking at the frames, the transport layer security, the TCPs, etc. But however, now we want to use a different tool or application to actually analyze this forensic.pcap or this pcap file known as forensics. So in this particular case, we are going to open a new tool or another software that we're going to be using to analyze. The software is known as NetMiner. So, NetMiner, I've already installed it on my machine. I just need to access the tool. NetMiner. NetMiner. All right. I already have the file. I downloaded it. I actually updated it yesterday. So let me just try and access this network miner. So if I double click on network miner, it should open. Yeah, there it is. So this is our network miner. So our network miner, as you can see, it has an option of file where you can actually open or read from packet cache. It also has an option to receive the pcap file over an IP. Then on tools, you can also start capturing. You can also start capturing packets or stop capturing packets. You can clear the graphical user interface, or you can delete captured files. So now you can select a network adapter on the list. Let's say, for instance, you want to monitor a particular network. You can select the adapter that you want to monitor here. But since we're not going to be monitoring using network miner, we just want to analyze using network miner. So as you can see, network miner will show you the number of hosts, or the hosts that are present or that were present during the network analysis. It will show you the files, giving the frame number, the file name, extension, size, the source address, and the destination address. It will also show you the images if they are present. It will also show you messages if there are any messages that are present. It will also give you the credentials. So under credentials, you can have the client, the server, the protocol that was used, a username and a password if they are present, and the valid login and login time. All the sessions that exist when the analyzer was monitoring the network, DNS details if they are present, any parameters that exist, keywords. If you want to search for keywords, you can do that on network miner. You can also look for anomalies if there are any anomalies. Let's say, for instance, on your network, when you configure some settings on your network, you can pre-configure certain things, and you can term those things as anomalies. So if there are any anomalies that are present or that exist within your network, you can actually view them from the anomalies tab. So basically, this is the setup for the network miner. So we now want to analyze the pcap file known as forensics that we have just captured using Wireshark. Remember, the extension of the file is a pcap file. Some they might be pcap files, some they might be win pcap files. It depends with the network monitoring tool that you have been using. So however, when I click on file, we now want to analyze the forensic.pcap file. And when I select open, or when I click on open, in this particular case, the pcap file that we want to analyze is forensics. So when I click on open, as you can see, it's populating the contents of the file that we've just loaded. So let's just give it a little bit of time. It's now on 74%. All right. So we should be done now. So as you can see, from the analysis that we've just done, we have 133 hosts or machines on our network. We have 53 files that have been accessed. Images, we don't have any images that we accessed. Messages, we don't have any messages. Credentials, there are no credentials. Then sessions, we have 134 sessions that were established in the various ports that were being used or that were accessing our system. Then on DNS, we have that information over there. Parameters, simply showing us the parameter name, the parameter values, the frame numbers, the source host, as well as the port and the destination host. So let's say, for instance, I want to perform a keyword search. Let's see. And if I type Microsoft, just want to see what happens if we opened anything. Okay, we're supposed to load these keywords before loading the pcap file, such that the moment we load, the keywords will be searched when it's the network miner is actually analyzing the pcap file. So, as an investigator, depending with what you are actually searching or looking for, all the necessary information that you require can be obtained from the analysis stage or part. So basically, this is an analysis or information that we can obtain from analyzing the forensics.pcap file. All right, let's try and open other pcap files that I've saved before. We also have another pcap file known as sample. Let's try and see what we can get from that. So we are simply loading the pcap file. And as you can see, the number of hosts are increasing since we are adding another pcap file. All right. So as you can see, the number of hosts have has increased. The number of files have increased. The sessions, the DNS, and the parameters. Keywords, we have 1021 words. Like for instance, previously we wanted to say want to look for everything or a word or anything that has the name Microsoft or the word Microsoft, and these are the information that has been presented to us on keywords. So Wireshark and Network Miner are very, very important tools that you can actually use to monitor your network as well as to analyze your networks. Alright, I think I still have another pcap file, a different one that I've used before. Let me just try and let me close the network miner first. Let me try and open it again. Okay, WinRAR. We don't want to access WinRAR at this particular point. Alright, so if I open our network miner, as you can see, we want to open another pickup file that I have. Let me just try and look for the pickup file. Where's the pickup file? Let me try and access it. So please bear with me a little bit. Okay, I'm going to open this pickup file known as set1. Alright, so this pickup file has 2 hosts. It has 5 files, 3 images, 1 credentials, 6 sessions, and 34 parameters. So previously, when we analyzed the other pickup files, we managed to see the hosts. In this particular case, there are only 2 hosts. This one with this IP address, and the other one with this IP address. So if you look closely on hosts, you can be able to view the IP address of that particular machine or that particular host, the MAC address of that particular machine, as well as the network interface card information, the age of the MAC, as well as the host name if it's present. So you can also get this information when you click on a particular host. Then on the second host, we are being told that this IP address is using a Linux operating system, and the network interface card is a Raspberry Pi. These are the number of packets that have been received. It has 2 incoming sessions as well as 5 outgoing sessions. So likewise on files, these are the files that are there with the various information, with the associated information. We also have images. So on images, we also have images. So let's just click. So these are the images that are there. We can open the images. Those are the images that are present on our pickup file. Interestingly, on this pickup file, on other credentials, we have some piece of information. Let's just click and see. So under credentials, as you can see, we have the client's IP address, the server's IP address. We also have the name of the protocol that was used, which is a file transfer protocol. We have a username. In this case, we have a user known as Blinky the Wonder Chip, who was accessing our network, and his password is football. And we do not have information to see if this is a valid login or not, but maybe we can verify this information through the network administrator. And this is the login timestamp that Blinky the Wonder Chip accessed our system. So basically, this is how you can actually use Wireshark and Network Miner to analyze our networks within our organizations. So now, some of you might be asking or might be wondering, what we've just been doing on the previous demonstrations as well as on these demonstrations, these tools, there is so much that you can do with these tools. There are so many things that you can actually explore, or that you can actually discover when you're using these tools. So Network Miner, it actually has a book of how some of those things you can actually interpret them, or how you can actually invoke some things. Wireshark also has a book. FTK Image has a book, as well as Autopsy also has a book. So what we've just done is just a tip of the iceberg, or just something to cultivate in you some interests on how to explore other avenues of how these tools can be used. All right.